And welcome to the WRST Sports Pregame Show, a special edition of the Pregame Show, as we are less than an hour away from the kickoff between the match between UW-Oshkosh and Messiah College in the first semifinal action of Final Four in San Antonio, as Brian Scholes and our very own Brian Scholes and Chris Miller standing by in San Antonio, set to bring you live coverage starting at 11 o'clock, so less than an hour away. We will check in with them shortly. Just a little rundown on how this pregame show is going to work. We'll check in with Brian and Chris, talk a little bit about what the team has done since being in Texas and in San Antonio, as well as a special kind of little package on how the team got to San Antonio. We'll cover all four games from the regionals and the sectionals in just a little bit. And then we'll again check in with Chris and Brian, see how the team is doing on the pitch as they warm up. We'll talk a little bit and find out what this Messiah College Falcon team is all about. Who are they? If you've been listening to the sports pages in the previous to this broadcast today, you'll know that this Messiah team is very good. Winners of 7 of the last 10 national championships in Division III soccer, and they are currently back-to-back champions, looking for 3 in a row. So a very stiff test awaits the Titans here this morning, as a kind of a different kickoff for this Titan team, as they will play a morning kick, and most of the games for this Titan soccer team this year have come usually at night. This team accustomed to playing night games. But let's go ahead and let's head out to San Antonio and check in with Brian Scholes and Chris Miller. Guys, you there?
We are, BJ. How you doing?
Not too bad. So you made the trip safe and sound. What did you guys do last night with the team, and what have they been doing since they've been in San Antonio?
Well, they got in here on Wednesday, BJ, as you know. They flew down here. They took a look at the complex, the Blossom Sports Complex here in San Antonio, Texas, the game field. They had a banquet last night. They were taking pictures outside of the Alamo, so they got a little bit of a flavor of the city and the surrounding environment. And then we were fortunate enough to join them on a boat tour of the Riverwalk, which was quite interesting, a lot of fun. The team was in good standing. They had high expectations for what to expect here today. And, Chris, anything else to add about what they did out here?
Just their attitude yesterday. We were with them on the Riverwalk. They were, normal 21, 22-year-olds. Not like they're getting ready to play a Final Four game tomorrow. It's just like they're any 21, 22-year-olds hanging out, but they're just in San Antonio. They know what they have to do. They are very, they're poised. They're ready for this moment. And yesterday was a very busy day for this team. And not only were they coming here checking out the complex, but as part of being in the NCAA Final Four of this tournament, they went to actually a middle school in the San Antonio area and did some community service. They talked to kids about what it's like being student athletes, what they can look forward to in high school and in college. So, it's not just coming down here and playing soccer and going home. They're doing things to help kids in the area, which is, a great thing for the NCAA to do, and for all 8 men's and women's teams that are taking part in the Final Four this weekend. So they're going to be here actually today. The kids in the classes that they were talking to, they're going to be wearing Oshkosh gear. They're going to be rooting. They're going to be rooting for the Titans. So although many Oshkosh fans couldn't make it down here, you're going to have representatives in some 6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
Very nice.
So BJ, it was a busy day yesterday, but they got a good night rest, good breakfast this morning, and they're ready to go. They're warming up right now, playing some possession games right now, but they're ready to go. We rode over here with them, and they are they're poised. They're ready to go. They cannot wait for that first whistle in about 49 minutes now.
Now, fellas, a couple questions before we let you go here for a little bit. This is the WRC Sports Pregame Show, talking with Brian Scholes and Chris Miller live from San Antonio. And, guys, you mentioned all the extra things that they did yesterday, kind of the extracurricular activities. Is that maybe somewhat of a distraction as they have to play today early in the morning?
Not at all. In fact, it's on the contrary. It gets them ready for this game. It gets them comfortable with the surrounding environment. Obviously, you come into strange territory. This team all these players most of them at least, have never been here before for any kind of reason. So to get them acquainted with the surrounding environment, the weather here is gorgeous. It's 58 degrees right now. The highs are expected to be 78 or around the low 80s today and tomorrow. So quite the change of pace from playing 2 weekends ago in Oshkosh when temperatures were in the low 30s. I think they're looking forward to this game. The activities that they were involved in yesterday just makes it that much better to make them that much more comfortable with the environment.
And I think, if anything, the activities yesterday, they were with all four teams. They had a big banquet with all four men's teams and all four women's teams last night. They were all together, but they weren't thinking about the game. They weren't worrying about it. It wasn't weighing on their mind. So the fact that they had to do things all day yesterday took their mind off of it.
Yeah.
I think a little bit. I did talk to head coach Vita Molnar last night. He said it was they were going pretty much nonstop. He said it was a little bit too rushed. They might have tried to do too many things, but he said in no way did that distract them, because if that were the case, the guys would have just been hanging around in the hotel and goofing off, which is okay too.
True.
And also I talked to head coach Toby Bars, former UW-Oshkosh men's soccer coach, and he said the 3 previous times he was down here in 94, 2000, and 2003, he said it was good. It was also good for the team. They have a busy day before, and he said it just to take your mind off of it, and it prepares them very well for the next day, even if they play in the morning. I think once right now they don't know what time it is. They could care less. It's 11 in the morning. They're gearing up for the biggest game of all their lives.
You guys talk about the contrast in weather. Right now, 21 degrees outside. Feels like 15 back here in Oshkosh. So you guys living the life in San Antonio. One quick question before we go. We mentioned this Messiah team on how experienced they are. That's got to be a definite advantage for them heading into this match. You talked about Oshkosh not being down here before, kind of has to get familiar with its surroundings. Messiah's been here. They've done that. They know San Antonio.
That's very true, BJ. I mean, Messiah, you look at the statistics, they've won 7 of the last 10 national championships. They won last year. It was played here. Same complex, same place. So, yes, Messiah will be very familiar with the field, with the environment. They didn't necessarily have to go through that process where they had to get acquainted with the city, because most of those players on that team had already been acquainted with the city. Oshkosh, on the other hand, it's a very good point. They have never really been down here before. It's a new environment, it's a new feel, but even so, with that kind of new surrounding environment, the team looks extremely confident. Riding over here with them, spending time with them last night, they're having fun, they're having a great time, regardless of what their experience will be out here or what the results will be of these games, either today or if they advance tomorrow. They will have a very fulfilled experience here in San Antonio, I believe.
And Messiah, they were here last year. They have a lot of returning players. Obviously, they have the returning most outstanding player of the entire tournament last year in senior Jeff Pizon. But it's a different team. This Oshkosh team is a very different team. They've never been here before, but they're here for a very good reason, and that is because they are a very, very quality side. And I think it's going to be an absolute battle, but Messiah, you look going into it, everyone thinks that they have the advantage, and I might think that, they might be right. Everyone notices how confident Oshkosh is if you spend some time with them as we did last night, but I don't think anyone's going to be more confident than Messiah, winning 7 of the last 10, the last 2. The 7th time in the row they've been to the Final Four, 10 the last 11 years. They are as good of a dynasty as you're ever going to find in sports. Yes, it's D3 athletics, but they are as dominant as any other team in any other sport has been in recent memory. Not just on the collegiate level, anywhere.
Well, all right, fellas, we're going to let you guys go. We'll get back with you in a bit. Thank you, and we'll talk to you in a little bit.
Sounds good.
All right. And that was Brian Scholes and Chris Miller live from San Antonio. They're set to call the action at 11 o'clock right here on 90.3 WRST as the UW-Oshkosh men's soccer team gets set to take on Messiah College in the first semifinal of the championship rounds of the Division III men's soccer championships down in San Antonio, Texas. So, Brian and Chris, we'll get back with you guys in a little bit. But first, let's take a break. When we get back, we'll take a look at the Titans' run through the regional and sectional rounds and a little presentation of the men's soccer team's road to San Antonio. That's next on the WRST Sports Pregame Show Special. And welcome back to the WRST Sports Pregame Show. Heading up to Kickoff between Messiah College and the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh in the first semifinal of the Division III Soccer Championships from San Antonio, Texas. Brian Scholes, Chris Miller standing by to call that. But first, let's kind of take a look back at how this team ended up getting to San Antonio, and a little special presentation we call the Men's Road Soccer Team's Road to the Final Four and to San Antonio. Here it is. The 2010 UW-Oshkosh men's soccer team is back in the Final Four for the first time since 2003 and for the third time in school history. The Titans, co-champions of the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, received an at-large bid into the tournament with an undefeated 16-0-3 record. Oshkosh, hosting the regional round at J.J. Keller Field inside Titan Stadium, faced Carroll University in the opening round, and the Titans would draw first blood.
Looks like he's setting up to boot it into the box. Let's see if the cross comes. It will. Coel, a low liner. Far side post. It's headed in. Goal for the Titans. And they take the lead with under 10 minutes left in the first half. Brandon Briones on the far side got ahead on that one. And there was no way that the goalkeeper for Carroll, Tomek Majeskowski, would be able to react.
Tied 1-1 at the half, the match would head to overtime, where just 7 minutes in, Titan fans retreated to a thrilling end to the opening match.
Brian Miller trying to cross it in the box. It's tapped in by Oshkosh to the near side. It's Robbie Giliohan with the winning goal for the Titans. They streak to the near side of the field. The crowd runs onto the field. The mascot's on the field. The athletic director, Daryl Sims, slamming on the glass in the press box. You can hear the jubilation at Titan Stadium as the Titans have eliminated Carroll University from this tournament.
Giliohan, the junior midfielder from Pewaukee, set the stage for a matchup with North Park University in the regional final, where Oshkosh would benefit from a miscue by the Vikings for their first goal.
Miller to the far side, driving into the box, slide tackled in the box, and a call is made. We're going to have a penalty kick for Oshkosh. That was an aggressive tackle to the far side. I believe it was Domenico who launched in at Miller's feet. Miller hit the turf, and I believe Tim Stadler is going to take the penalty kick as Tim Alberg is discussing things with the head official who made the call. Tim Stadler, the junior from Wauwatosa West, to take it for the Titans. Alberg awaits in front of the goal. Stadler launches toward goal. It's into the back of the net, and Oshkosh takes a 1-0 lead on a PK from Stadler in the, I believe it would be the 38th minute.
Stadler connects for his 10th goal of the year, but the Titans weren't done yet, as less than 2 minutes later, a fresh sub for Oshkosh wasted little time, giving the Titans a 2-0 lead.
With under 16 minutes to play, so the Oshkosh Titans going to try to put together some insurance goals in the first half, as there's a major substitution for the Titans. 4 men off, 4 men on. Head coach Vitsa Molinar making some changes.
Briones is one of the men in. Hannah is in, so Briones will be on the near side, and also Laubenstein. So similar rotation as we saw last night.
Cross comes in. Laubenstein drives it in the back of the net. They put a goal for Laubenstein. It just checked in as substitute. He headed it right at the defender for the Vikings. Came right at his foot, and he put it in the upper 90, near side post. Laubenstein gives the Titans a 2-0 lead.
Welcome to the match, Laubenstein. He just checked in. He's been on the field for maybe 15 seconds, and he already has a goal.
The freshman from Bayport, Wisconsin, with the orange cleats, mind you, the only player out there.
That's what it is.
Sporting the orange.
Nick Laubenstein's goal would be the last for Oshkosh on the night, as the Titan defense would hold on to pitch the shutout.
20 seconds remaining. The Oshkosh fans getting loud. The free kick awarded for the Titans. It'll be quickly taken by Gron. 13 seconds remain. Here comes into the box. Pike catches it, holds on to it, and with 4 seconds left, that's going to do it. Oshkosh wins the regional championship match here at J.J. Keller Field at Titan Stadium. A final score of 2-0.